Welcome back to another video. Today we did what if India batted Pakistan won the war. We are not gonna have China. India start. So China will send aid and India will have aid as well. And it's Pakistan. We are pretty simple. We fade a little bit here. Fade here. And Chinese dupes would secretly invade here. And Chinese dupes would invade here. Yes, I think I might be. China's officially going to be joining the war. So Chinese dupes are going to focus on this side. And they will do pretty well. They will manage to capture that whole entire area, even a little bit here, until Indian dupes finally do something about it. Next, this area is where a lot of the fighting will happen in, as Chinese dupes will now absolutely destroying any defenses here. And this city will be thickly captured. And all of a sudden, India plan is pretty simple. So first, defend the capital city. Second, try to take this land. And third, burst China out of these areas. But the Indian army is still not doing enough. I saw this sometime. Okay, that's right. We have Team Pakistan and I'm going to Team India. Okay, we have Team India. Maybe to take the color. This will be red and these will be blue. America is as well. I think that these countries can't invade China, or else you would just have what if India and China went to war, but instead it's Pakistan and India. Anyways, alarms in the capital city will now start happening, as Indian dupes will officially start finishing setting up a defensive front. But India plan is pretty simple. So first, put these back to here. Capture all of this. Then, why is it so laggy? Then, there and here, I cut this area and then that area. And then just keep moving this way, and this way. Anyways, Indian dupes will manage to push back a little bit here. And a little bit here. But the plan is officially in motion, especially when a lot of American, Australian is on Indian team as well. Australian dupes and a lot of different types of dupes, like Japan, South Korea, Austria, probably some Western countries which managed to do this. And after some time, Pakistani dupes here would be really weak, and they would try their best to set up a defensive front. Okay, Team Pakistan's plan is pretty simple. First off, with that team, so they will move soldiers here. Then Chinese troops will use try to capture this area, and they will need to try to set up a surprise attack here. They will need and here. But okay. But the Johnson troops will now manage to meet up. But okay. But the Partisan military would lead the rest of the soldiers back to the defensive front. Or the defensive front is about here. Let me do that though. Here are a lot of mountains, so the defensive front is here. And here. About that's the defensive front. India's defensive front. Limited to the current level is about here. So these are the defensive fronts. And then navally, the naval seals are like here and here. But anyways, the defensive front here would be Abasudi Balkan. So the backup defensive front with one color. The backup defensive front would be used. India will have a new defensive front. What is the old defensive front of Pakistan? The Pakistan military will push back on the coast, and there's a river here. Let me just show you where's the river. It's somewhere here, and it leads into the capital city. Okay, anyways. And Chinese troops, even some North Korean troops as well, you know? Yes, but guess what? North Korea with this. This city would be captured, and yeah. But at the same time, the India and Indian troops and Chinese troops will set up a defensive front. And it's more than 1-1 defensive front like census. And what else? So the Partisan defensive front have like three layers. And the Indian have 3 layers as well. Here is the next one. It should try to kind of cut this part off. As I don't work, I see the tubes and would manage to cut this part off. An easy job to it. Indian tubes would now be destroyed here, so they would decide to set up a massive defensive front here like this. They decided to move the defensive front to this to remove all of these areas. And yeah. But now Indian troops were now decided to set up. Team India were decided to destroy a lot of the most of the defensive front here. So the defensive front is like this, yeah. But India break through this, so it's actually like this. So India have this part, Pakistan have this part. So this area is kind of a no goals on this ad. Yeah, it's pretty confusing now. But budget ad would have a defensive front here and a little bit here. The defensive front is weak. As Indian dupes more special forces, as Indian dupes would manage to do it. Special forces will now go in this city. Pakistan would decide to set up a new defensive front about here. Okay, now American dupes would land here. And Australian and like Team Indian dupes, let's say. Only the local army pretty much here. But now Pakistan need to give a lot of food to Pakistan as soldiers, as Indian soldiers are now doing something pretty weird. They destroyed all defensive front and now they're moving in 3 ways. Now it would confuse the enemy, so as the defensive fronts are like this. Now in weird areas, and this would lead to any defensive front here that it absolutely destroys. The only defensive front what Pakistan have is like this defensive front. But at the same time, this area doesn't want it. So the final area is this. The surroundment of this city, special forces, and now Indian dupes would surround the capital city. But then Pakistan would do insane counter. They will even manage to meet up, but at the same time, more and more dupes will now land near the capital city, leading to Pakistan officially surrendering. Okay, China know they can't win, so they would instead ask for peace. But first, China would instead invade Taiwan. As their plan is something pretty smart. Now the beastie here, China keep all of this, but India keep all of this. And China get to keep a little bit here and here. North Korea would join China. But this is really the end of the video. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe. But bye!